All right, welcome. It is a late night stream. It's almost 10 o'clock. I was going to wait to 10, but I was like, you know what? I'm not going to wait to 10. I'm impatient. And I just wanted to start streaming. So, anyways, yeah, I'm not going to wait 10 o'clock. So, hi, Zeb. Uh, hey, swear, SWENRG. Is that Sarah? I don't know. She keeps changing her name. Rod Feast. Hello, Autistic. Hello. But yeah, let's get started here. So I don't stream a lot on this channel. I know I've been I've been neglecting my channel, and I apologize. Sort of, kind of. I just been real busy. I just this hasn't really a lot to talk about. Really, I listen to Veda, I listen to Aaron, but I don't have an exceptionally amount of stuff to really add to that dialogue. To be honest with you, there's some Philo stuff that I eventually like to get to, and I will soon. But for the most part, I just haven't really been diving into the stuff that they've been talking about. However, I've been watching, and there's a couple things that I just wanted to clarify for people. First, as you notice, I did put in the thumbnail here the us versus them, the good versus evil. And I do mean this. I'm not just being hyperbolic. I believe very strongly that we are good people, and that the evil people, the bad people, the Katie Joys, the Unirocks, the nonsense, those kind of people, and all the people that hang out with them and in that community are evil. I don't know how else to put it. And yes, I do believe in evil. Yes, I'm agnostic. I'm not a naturalist. I'm what's called a moral non-naturalist, actually, believe it or not, which I think most atheist philosophers even are moral non-naturalist. But yeah, I do believe there's such a thing called evil. I do believe that natural evils exist, and I also believe that evil comes from people. I don't believe it's supernatural. I don't believe that it has any kind of ontological reality. I don't believe that you require a god or anything. But I do believe that evil is something we can talk about, we can measure, as far as maybe not quantifiably, but we can certainly say that certain people are more evil than certain other people. I mean, we don't even have to put a number to it, but there's just certain people that you can say, hey, look, this person is a really bad person, and I want to put that into the evil category. Yeah, yeah. Hey, sir. Yeah, most people I think are more realist. I'm not a non-cognitivist though. When it comes to most theories, I tend to be a cognitivist. But anyway, so let's get to the kind of the crux of this. So recently, Veda Jade, who spends a lot of time making videos, made a really couple awesome videos the last couple days. One was a response to Boston, which I'm glad she made as a standalone video. I was very appreciative that she kind of just said, okay, hey, Steve went on this panel. I believe it was on Crimes and Fashion not too long ago, and a couple people popped in, Ellie and a guy named Boston, and they started asking me questions about things I had absolutely no idea about. And here's the thing: I don't sit there and pretend I know things that I don't know. If I don't know about something or I'm not aware of it, I'm just going to tell you I really have no idea, and that's straight up truth. I don't like sitting there trying to pretend I know about things that I don't. I can look at something and Google it, or I'll say I'll get back to you. Or, if I have a vague recollection, I might say, yeah, I kind of vaguely recall something like that. And I do, but I may not be something that I've read recently on or be up to speed on. So when I'm asked a lot of questions about certain things, that says receipts from Letitia Bias or something like that, yeah, I had nothing to add to that. I just wasn't part in any of that. But Veda was. And I said, if you want to get the receipts, go to Veda. Go to EKC. They have what you're looking for. They never did. The evil never did. And I'm not gonna say Boston's evil, but I mean Boston and Crimes and Fashion. I can't, apparently some have some connection to nonsense. I know Crimes and Fashionista does. She's friends with nonsense, and I'm sorry. Lisa was very kind, but I'm gonna put her in the evil category only for the fact that it's not a guilt by association. She left a message on one of the videos saying, hey, yeah, Steve was cordial and everything like that. Nonsense is my friend. But she won't answer the question, why is Nonsense lying about me? Why is Nonsense lying about her friends? If you don't have an interest in why one of your friends is lying about somebody, then I'm going to probably put that in the evil category. If I think Aaron or Veda is lying about something, I'm going to call that out. But fortunately, I never had to do that. I don't agree with certain things. I've mentioned that before. But that's the wonderful thing about being different content creators. We don't all have to agree. That doesn't mean I don't stand behind Veda. That doesn't mean I don't stand behind Aaron. I most certainly do. Veda and I don't have to agree on some of her conclusions, but I adore her, and I absolutely put her in the good column because she wants to have the facts come out. She wants to do good, and I stand behind her 100%. So that video she made for Boston, I thought was very, very good. The link is in the video description for the other video she made, but you can find the Boston one from that link. But the one I really want to talk about was the video where she talks about some of the slanderous things that Katie Joyce said, some of the slanderous things that Nonsense said, and my, I guess, interrogation when I went on Crimes and Fashion, which again I can hold my own, but I mean I really wasn't expected to know the answers to the questions they're asking me, because again I never got on involved in the Marvon story. Sure, I was on a panel here and there, but it's just something that I never talked about. I had my own opinions. I do think very strongly that Letitia Bias was screwed hard by Katie Joy, Unirock, and Nonsense. I think they're the most three vile, disgusting YouTubers I've ever had the displeasure of running across. There's more out there. There's more than just them, but they are definitely in the tops. And they're evil. They're actually evil people. What they did to that woman is nothing short of immoral. There's no other ways to describe it. They put a grieving mother through hell only for their own enjoyment, for their own personal enjoyment, where they could feel like they were accomplishing some evil deed by screwing with somebody who was an innocent. I mean, any game you play, and it's funny that I'm talking about this because I'm playing in the middle of Witcher 2. I finished Witcher 1. I got almost to the very end of Witcher 3, but I couldn't finish it. I'm going to restart it as soon as I finish Witcher 2. And of course, you have all these moral choices you've got to make and things of that nature. So I was playing that today. I was going to play some more tonight after the stream, but I was thinking, man, this is really apropos in real life in regards, because there are just some people that make some really bad, evil decisions. And going after Letitia, I think, was a very, very immoral decision. Sarah asked me, did you watch? I did watch the debate between Tor and Dave, and I have a 2-hour video on the Non Sequitur show, which that's going to be more my main channel going forward, I think. I'm going to be doing a lot more reviews, and I think maybe on the Non Sequitur show channel than this one. But yeah, I thought Dave did very poorly. I thought Dave was a very poor representation of the non-believer community. I thought he was unfair to Tor. I don't agree with Tor on his, many of his conclusions, but as far as the science, he wanted to get Dave to do it. Dave wanted to do the science. So yes, I think Tor did way better than Dave. Personal opinion. Yeah, Tor did not. Tor had chemistry that he was going to talk about. Not to derail the discussion tonight, but yes, he wanted to talk about polysaccharides. He wanted to talk about polynucleotides, and he wanted to talk about formations of amino acids for dipeptides. And unfortunately, the questions that he was asking, of course, probably couldn't be answered in the prebiotic universe, but Dave didn't even bother to do that. He did citation bluffed. He pulled a Nephilim free and said, hey, look, here's papers. Those papers, which I do have copies of, and I did ask many, many PhDs in biochemistry and biology, and not one said that those papers answered anything that Tor asked. Not one, not a single person. So some amino acids are amenable to polymerization. That is true. When you have certain ones that have a side chain that only have like a hydrogen atom, like glycerin, then yeah, it's going to be a lot easier to polymerize those, right? But unfortunately, he wasn't asking about those simple amino acids. He wasn't asking glycine. I'm sorry, not glycerin, glycine. Yeah, he wasn't asking about glycine though. He was asking about, what was it? Make me think back. It was lysine and aspartic acid, if I remember correctly. And aspartic acid and lysine, when they bind, can bind differently because of the side chain. So they have to figure out how to eliminate that in a prebiotic universe to get a nice single line of amino acids lining up in a peptide chain, or even just for a simple dipeptide or a polypeptide for a protein. But anyways, that was way off topic. You guys, that's for another day. But always answer. I mean, always happy to answer questions for people in the live chat. I appreciate when they show up, and especially my mods. Anything for them. Kawasa 20,001. Can't stay for the stream. Have a small drink on me, dude. I'm gonna have actually, I think some indica tonight. I had some delivered the other night, and it was called My Sleep, and that stuff was amazing. It's 5 milligrams of like THC, 5 milligrams CBN, and 2 milligrams of CBN, 2 milligrams of melatonin. And so it just is a concoction to sleep, and man, it really does work. Yeah, I had a few beers the other day, but that's the most I've drank in ages. Just like 2 Michelob. I think they were light beer. But anyways, moving back to the topic at hand, the good versus evil. Veda in her video had, like I said, talked about a few things, and I want to make it very clear that at no time was I throwing Veda under the bus. I wanted to make it very clear that Veda comes to her own conclusions. People think that for some reason I have an influence on people that I just do not have. I have no influence on Veda whatsoever. None. I wouldn't want an influence on her. I like the fact that she can go and objectively view things, and if we happen to come to the same conclusions, great. If we don't, then we'll have to figure out eventually what the right answer is, but that is neither here nor there. She's certainly allowed to come with different conclusions than I do. And she might be right. I don't know. That's why we have different conclusions. I'm not going out there saying, hey, look, I'm 100% right in everything I say and Veda's wrong. No, she might very well be correct. I don't know. I don't have the information available. But as of right now, what I've seen, I certain things I don't 100% come to the same conclusion. But I do agree with her 1,000-fold when she talks about Nonsense and Katie Joy and Union Rock. Clearly, all three of them are evil. They're dangerous as far as them spreading misinformation, and they project it onto other people. We know all three of them lie. There's just absolutely no question about that. And yet they tell people to be alienated from us. They say people shouldn't be talking to us because, well, they don't really give reasons. They just say that, like, for example, one of the things that was mentioned was that Nonsense, for some reason, again, lying about me and talking about me. And I've asked her not to, but she won't stop. So I'm going to comment on it. But she has said that I and others that she calls they, but I'm going to use they for them because they're the evil ones. But she said that we somehow manipulate mentally unwell people. Well, she's obviously never watched any of my stuff because she knows I have a longstanding policy. If somebody is mentally unwell, I don't have them on the show and I don't deal with them. I've had that policy for a very, very long time, and that's just not lip service. I actually have had people on the Non Sequitur show that I have kicked off or have left saying I ain't getting on a good conscience deal with this person because they are mentally unwell. And I don't mean mentally unwell as in Katie Joy or Uni Rock mentally unwell. They are clearly histrionic personality disorder, narcissism, psychopathy. They have all these different mental issues. I get that, but I'm talking about the ones who claim like, they've been abducted by aliens and that, the Jesus is going to come tomorrow. Things that this person's mental condition is clearly not congruent with reality. People that think the earth is flat, I get, are all mental. But if they think the earth is flat and that Jesus told them this, and that they have told me that they're off their meds and that they seek they've had psychological help, then yeah, I can't deal with those kind of people. So, and that's just for me. And by the way, anybody who can associate with anybody they want. And so I personally avoid people that I think have strong mental issues personally. And for Nonsense to say that I've somehow was associated with that person that was called Nat at the time, I find to be personally distasteful and evil, because it is well known that I've never had any communications with this person, Nat. None. Zero. Nada. Zip. Nada. I've never emailed them back. I've never messaged them. I've never spoken to them on panel. Nothing. The only conversation I've ever had with even Nonsense was after that she had messaged me, or she had made a mention in her video, hey, if you want to reach out to me, then go for it, kind of stuff. And I did. I contacted her back in September, I think it was, of 2022. This is what Veda was talking about in her video. And I said, hey, you wanted to contact me or me to contact you? Here I am. That was it. That's the only message I've ever had with that woman. And yeah, I kind of did forget about that because it's been so long. So I do apologize for that. But other than that, yeah, I'm not messaging her. I'm not tagging her. I'm not giving a damn about her. And yet she's somehow trying to run this narrative that I'm harassing her. That, again, is evil. When you're lying to your audience and you really don't even care anymore if what you put out is factual, and I don't think Nonsense ever did, I'm going to put you in the evil category. I'm just going to start having this dichotomy. And it may be black and white, but I do believe there are good people and there's evil people. And sure, there's neutral people, but I don't really have a lot of neutral people in my life. I think a lot of people in my life are either neutral good or chaotic good, or at least tend to the good side. I think that most of my subscribers, most people that follow me, most people that super chat, like Kawasa couldn't stay, but he's a great guy. He follows me also on Twitter, and we have a lot of good conversations. But I think the most part is people on this side of the fence are going to be decent people. When you look at the other side, the evil side, you see all the same types of personality types. You see people that are just emotionally unwell, people that are willing to lie with impunity, make stuff up and not willing to correct the record. I correct the record. If I find an error in my video or somebody else's video, I will fix it. They do not. Nonsense will never apologize for lying about me, saying that I was in contact with somebody that I've never ever talked to in my life, and then trying to scare people away, saying, "Oh, don't talk to Steve. He talks to mentally unwell people." That is just, again, evidence that she's outright lying. And Veda brought this up very poignantly in her video. She also brought up that she did predict. Veda did predict that Nonsense was going to take a page from the Katie Joy playbook and say that I was like trying to sh her, and I'm like, okay, that's just that. And I gotta admit though, I was like, come on, Veda, come on. Why would she do something stupid like that? But she did. She literally did. I gotta admit, it did take me aback, thinking, what the hell would she accomplish by doing this besides making herself look stupid? But she actually did. There's no evidence I've ever SH'd Nonsense. I've never contacted her other than September 2023 when she wanted me to talk to her, and then changed her mind the next day. That's it. So, yeah, Veda correctly predicted that, and she was right about that. When she did ask me a question the other day about when I was on that panel about exploitation of the Morvan story that I wanted to mention real quick before I forget. And I told Veda that it was Union Rock and Nonsense who was exploiting, and that Aaron wasn't exploiting. And then I realized what she was referring to in a video clip that when I was on the panel for Crimes and Fashion. I got to. I mean, this is not an excuse, but it's just a fact. They were not letting me really carry on to have a full sentence and to get my thoughts across. They kept shutting me down. They kept interjecting. They were not letting me speak in any kind of coherent way. And I was clearly feeling like I was being attacked for no reason because I didn't know this person. I was even asked questions that had nothing to do with me in a very, very antagonistic way, which I thought was kind of surprising since I don't go into a panel to be antagonistic and I don't expect that in kind. So I was a little bit taken aback. That is true. But I had made the comment, some to the extent that to a certain extent, even EKC may have been exploiting a little bit. And what I meant by that was not exploitation in any kind of derogative or pejorative sense. What I meant was she was able to talk about the topic on her channel. There was obviously, some monetary growth from that, which is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. As long as somebody puts out correct information, I think they can profit any way they want. And I know Aaron always strives to put out the best, most correct information. And that's one of the reasons why I wholeheartedly will support her and consider her a friend, a good friend, because I know her character. Her character is good. She wants to do what is right. And so what I meant by just, to some degree, minor exploitation is just that I think anybody who did a story on Morvan, was writing that exploitation to some degree. And that doesn't essentially mean a bad thing. I've done it with stories. We've all done it. Anybody who's a YouTuber, again, talking about something, it's hard not to exploit because you are talking about something, you are profiting from it, you are getting subs from it, you are getting, super chats and people joining your channel from it. It sucks because, you don't want to be a tragedy pimp. You don't want to profit off somebody else's misfortune. But that's all that Nonsense, Union Rock, and Katie Joy does. That's their entire shtick, is profiting from the misery of others. And if they cannot find any misery to profit from, they'll create their own. And so Aaron's like, yeah. And I know Aaron knew exactly what I meant, right? I knew Aaron did. Veda kind of took it a little bit more not difficult, but differently. And I feel bad for that because I wanted to explain to Aaron that's not to Veda, that's not at all what I meant. I never ever thought that Aaron was tragedy pimping. Of course not. And so I didn't even have to explain it to Aaron until like today. I messaged her and I was like, hey, Veda's asking about this. Because I did tell her that. I was like, no, Aaron's not exploiting. But then I heard that what she was referring to, and I'm like, oh, that's what she meant by that. So I wanted to correct that. I didn't want Veda to think that I lied to her. I didn't remember at all what she was talking about because again, I was in a panel of, I guess, hostile territory. But Aaron says, "Oh my God, this is stupid. I know what you meant. Even still, you can think what you like and disagree with shit I do. We're friends, and we're always big at exactly." And that's what I want to get across to people, is that I don't have to explain every little thing I say to Aaron. I mean, Aaron doesn't take things offensively. I could say something and she'd be like, okay, cool, whatever. She doesn't take it personally, and neither do I. I don't go to Aaron and go, oh my God, you said about this me. You were talking shit about me. I'm expecting her to do so. That's how we kind of vent. I would be really surprised if Aaron, hasn't said something shitty about me. I of course she has, and I love her for it because she can. And she doesn't mean it harmful. It's just that's how she will, vent, things. And I think that people need to do that. I think we all need to do that. I'd be like, oh my God. And this is, a fantastical story. This is not what happened, but I'd be like calling somebody up and I go, oh my God, can you believe what Aaron said about me today? No, but if I ever needed to, I could, right? But that's just not how we operate. Rodfist says, I hate those channels. I'd rather do a show for an hour about Rocco's modern life or anything that's just drama. Yeah, well, me too. EKC, sorry, I just got home from work and started streaming. I'll be back in a minute. Have to take dog out. Okay, let us know when you're back, and I'll open it up. I'll put the link to join if anyone wants to join. I wasn't really, having that kind of night, but whatever. I'll see if I can pin this here. But like I was saying, Veda's video was very, very good. It's just a few things, like I said, I wanted to address and correct and to talk about. I think she got the vast majority correct. Any little minor thing not dealing with me, I don't really have the information to correct or not. I know she does have the receipts, like I said, for the Letitia bias, and I stand by her 100%. I absolutely know that their hearts were in the right place when it came to getting Letitia to see her son. And Nonsense and Uni Rock and Katie Joy's hearts were blackened, and all they wanted to see was that woman suffer. And I honestly do hope that if there's a hell, they do rot in some level of it, because they are, in my opinion, absolutely morally detestable evil people. But hi, Rot.
Well, you know which demon will be presiding over them if they do rot in hell.
Rot Feast. Isn't that from the game?
That's like the first boss in Diablo 1.
Diablo 1, yeah. And then another game I played that had Rot Feast too. I think World of Warcraft even had a Rot Feast. It's kind of
I don't know. I've had the same moniker for well over a decade now.
Curious
I always get accused of having fake accounts. I've only ever had one YouTube account. I'm way too lazy to make sock accounts.
Curious says, my thoughts, people don't or won't spend the time investigating, just believing BS at face value. That's true. There are a few over that hang out on QB's channel trying to discredit what another pocket I follow. Pocket? Yeah, well, like I said, I haven't been back on Cream Pea's channel since that time I dropped to the panel. Queen Bee was very cordial to me. That was fine. But some of the people that she surrounds herself with I'm kind of questioning. Anybody who associates with Nonsense, I question. I don't trust any of them. Heels in the air, Good Onion, none of them. If you are associate with Nonsense, to me, you just don't care about facts. You don't care if she lies about people. I don't know how else to even put that. And it isn't guilt by association. It is, we can show that she's lying. I can show that she's lying. Will you stand by that? Will you call her out for lying about a guy sexually harassing her? If you're not, then you are just as bad as she is. You're just evil as she is.
I don't really know enough about them to make any kind of serious judgment. But like, how do you are you happy living this way? Seriously, I go online as like a release. Where I can vent and I can talk to people who are like-minded.
Yeah. Oh, you're asking me if I'm happy?
No. People who like do these like attack things. Does this really make them happy?
I don't know if it does or doesn't. I think that they don't care. They get an ego boost out of it, knowing that they're hurting people. I believe that they're all sadists. I believe Nonsense is a sadist. I know Katie Joy is a sadist, and I know Unirock's a sadist. So what's the difference between any of them? They all seem to enjoy harming and lying about people. And that to me is what Satanism is. Earth asks, is this a Christian channel or non-Christian Satanist channel? Sorry, I just got here. I would say non-Christian Satanist channel. I do tend to Satanism, so I'm not a Christian. So yeah.
Yeah, Satanism is pretty cool. I've me and my Jewish friend Greg, we've done some satanic parties before, and like it's not religious at all. It's just like fun and weird.
Yeah. No, I don't believe in any being called Satan. I don't believe in a supernatural. I had this conversation when I got my hair cut too. I had a guy there.
No, there's almost no Satanists that actually believe in deities.
Right. It's they don't. Most people don't understand anything about it. But this guy was just like, well, how do you know what you know? And I'm like, oh, great, a preceptor, right? And we started talking about epistemology while I was getting my hair cut, and he's like, damn, you really kind of do know your shit, kind of thing. And I was like, yeah, but we probably should have a beer over this kind of stuff rather than a haircut. But curiosity is people can't think critically. People can't critically think. Y'all have a good night. Going back to untold history with Indica sucked into that stuff right now. I'll get curious. No problem. Thank you. Straightforward.
There you go.
This is a Satanist channel. Pazuzu. Pazuzu was not Satan. Pazuzu was a demon, not Satan. But
I am Pazuzu.
Pazuzu was a demon that in The Exorcist.
Exorcist 2. That was such a shit movie. Exorcist 3, very underrated.
I love the first one. I love The Exorcist first one. Yeah.
The first and third were the best. 2 was a confusing pile of nonsense.
I don't even remember seeing the 2. I think, what was the one where they actually like found the little statue of Pazuzu? Was that 3?
Yeah, that was with the guy from A Christmas Carol.
I don't remember which one that was, but I remember that one.
Three was very good. Yeah, that was one where they had the head severing device.
Yeah.
It was really fucked up.
He doesn't entry doesn't neither. Steve is agnostic, but the channel's about science, philosophy, and similar things. That's true. That's true. But he didn't ask if I was atheist. He asked if I was non-Christian, which is true. I'm not a Christian. Yeah.
I don't know if you saw the behind the scenes for The Exorcist, but the guys who created it, like, it's like they're an old like married couple. The way they like bicker with each other, it's so cute.
Well, like I said, I do not believe in any kind of demons. So when I'm talking about evil people, I don't think it's like a metaphysical.
I don't think either of them did either. It was just like a story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but the problem is that, these 3 people are real life individuals, right? They don't exist in fantasy. These are 3 people that have actually caused harm to people. 2 of them have been in lawsuits, being sued for defamation. They don't care what they put out as factual or not. I mean, if you're being constantly sued for defamation, there might be a problem. You might want to rethink your strategy on YouTube if you're constantly lying to your subscribers. And so, when I talk about an evil, I'm talking about people that cause harm. To me, that is a form of evil. I don't think you.
Yeah, they have malicious intent.
Yeah, malicious intent. Yeah, you certainly don't need to be Christian to appreciate the fact that not all people are good people. There are some people that want to cause harm, and I do appreciate that Aaron and Veda are out there trying to set the record straight, and they don't have a lot of support for it as much as they should. They have a lot. I mean, they do have a lot, but I mean, they're nowhere near where they should be as far as the support of communities. If you're in a community and you know anything about nonsense or Aaron, and you're on the side of nonsense, stay the hell away from my channel unless you want to come in here and actually defend her lying, because I have no interest in people being unchallenged. I will challenge you. I will ask you the difficult questions. I will interrogate you, but you'll know that coming in, right? When I was on Crimes and Fashion, I was interrogated, and
is she someone that's used to people like kissing her ass a lot? Like, is that what's like spurring her on?
I don't know if it's people kissing her ass. What I think it is that she doesn't want people to come over here to ask questions because they will get the truth. That she doesn't want people to go to Aaron because she'll get the truth. She doesn't want people to go to Veda because they'll get the truth. They have the facts that nonsense has repeatedly lied about people in every situation in order to build her channel. And nonsense doesn't want people to get those facts. So she's like, oh, stay away from those people. Yet those people are the ones that have the facts. I could tell you right now, Rod, go over and listen to any of those people, then come over here and ask questions, and you'll get straight answers. You've done it. You know what you're going to get.
Yeah, I don't like I mentioned in the comments before, I don't like that inclusivity type atmosphere where you have to cut people off, otherwise your narrative doesn't make any sense when you can actually talk to people. I'm never about that. Even if it's people who oppose me, I'd rather talk to them than just be like, no, fuck them, nobody talk to them. Like, that's not going to help anything.
Well, that's why when, and by the way, Aaron, if you want to jump on in, links above there. Come on in, because I get some questions too. So when Nonsense first back in 2022 said, hey, yeah, Steve, you want to talk? I'm like, okay, I have nothing to be afraid of. I mean, if you want answers, I mean, Ellie came to me and I gave her too much information, probably. I mean, she was overloaded, but I gave her all the facts. I gave her the evidence, and she said, hey, Steve, I believe you. You're right. All these people have been lying about you. Yeah, of course. Why do you think that I have the followers I do have? They know that these people will lie, not just about me, but about them too. And if they're going to lie about them, then somebody should go, oh, wait, if they're lying about, if I was like, let's say I was like Aaron thinks to herself, man, if they're lying about me, yeah, they're probably lying about other people too, like Steve and Veda and other people. And of course, that's what that happens. So, I mean, I want people to be able to ask questions and listen to their BS and then go, okay, let's see if we can figure out if this is true or not. And say, Steve, I've heard this, and then we'll talk about that. But they won't ever come over here to stand up for nonsense's, lines of LARPing.
That's a big problem with these LARPers is when you air out the dirty laundry and you expose your bullshit to the wind and we can all smell it. Like, that's when it's different. It's like when you actually you're forced to say out loud what you believe, and it sounds ridiculous. It's like, come on.
Well, yeah, but I agree with you.
Maybe it makes sense in your head, but when you say it out loud and it sounds like it's like you're a nut job.
Or when you're writing it down. This is one of the reasons I want Aaron to pop in, because Aaron on her video had Crimes in Fashion, Lisa, leave a comment, and the comment was something along the lines of, I'm sorry, it was I think it was Veda's video that was on, not Aaron's, but she left a message something along the lines of, hey, Steve was cool when he came in, yes, I'm friends with Nonsense, blah blah, and I've left her a message underneath, and I don't have gotten a response yet, but my message was, okay, look, you're friends with Nonsense. Why is she lying about me? Are you interested if she's lying about me? If I was lying about her, you would be probably interested. If I was saying something that was untrue about Nonsense or one of her friends, she might have an interest in it. But the fact that she's lying about somebody she doesn't know, then Lisa doesn't seem to have an interest in that. And I find that to be a little disingenuous. I mean, if somebody's lying about Aaron, I'm going to call them out on it. If something something I know for a fact isn't true, then they're lying about a friend of mine, and I don't like that.
So this Nonsense character, they have a decent following. I assume they have a pussy, so like that's going to guarantee like some amount of following.
That's not necessarily the case, and I don't want to go to that. Let's not go there.
You know what I mean. It's gonna add a couple of bumps on there, but
she's very unattractive. I mean, Nonsense is not a good looking woman. This is another thing. She's like, I was her.
It doesn't take much.
And I'm like, yeah, no, that's not.
I'm not saying that's the only thing to her. There's clearly something that people like about her.
I don't want to bring in any kind of gender crap, because it's just absurd for anybody to think that I would have any interest in somebody like Nonsense.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like that goes both ways too. I mean, look at the Paul brothers. Like, if they didn't look the way they looked, like, no one would fucking watch them. Oh, hello.
Hi, welcome, hi. Aaron. Well, quick, let me get this out of the way. So Earth says, if you call yourself an atheist, but by definition you're not Christian or Satanist, no, you could be your definition not. Yeah, if you're an atheist, you cannot be Christian. Christian is a theist. So if you're an atheist, then you are not Christian, but you don't have to be a Satanist. And yeah, I don't believe Jesus was a holy man of God, so therefore it's irrelevant to me. I'm not Christian. Okay.
If you believe in Satan, then that means you subscribe to Christianity. I mean,
to some degree, yeah. I mean, I don't know anybody who believes Satan exists that isn't somehow relating to a Christian narrative. Because
I don't believe in Satan. I just think he's cooler.
Yeah. So I don't know. But anyways, Aaron, welcome.
Hi.
How was your day?
Good. I worked today. It was busy.
Nice.
Very busy. We opened up the new addition to where I work. It's a whole nother bar just attached to where I work. And it was crazy busy today, but it died out early. So there's that.
Well, yeah. Well, you know what? I had the day off, so mine was better.
Well, fuck you.
Yes. I had the day off and I enjoyed it. I really did. I needed it. And I caught up on a few things. So
I do have one question though about something you said on that podcast or on that live stream.
Yeah.
You said something that I was up on panel before with Nat. Was I? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I wasn't. I don't recall. I mean,
on the Kay Baxter stream, you popped in, didn't you? Pop in on that stream?
Well, no, I don't even think I was in the chat really.
Which I thought there was a stream you popped in real quick when Nat was just happened to be there.
I don't know. Maybe I was. I don't know. That's why I'm trying to remember.
It wasn't on your channel or anything like that. It was I for some reason I remember there was a panel. And I thought it was on Kay Baxter's channel, but maybe I was wrong. But you had popped. You've never been on panel with Nat.
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't really care if I was. It's not a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, unlike me, I know I've never spoken to the woman.
I heard you said that. I'm like, wait a minute, was I? Did I forget about that? That's all. I don't know. I'm curious.
You're a panel popper. So
yeah, I know. That's why I said it. It's possible. I could have been.
Yeah. There you go. See, I don't remember.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that term, panel popper.
Panel popper. Yeah. But okay, maybe you weren't, but yet you did. For a fact, you did communicate with her.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. Yeah.
That's not a secret.
Yeah, we exchanged messages. A few times. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, and then you also realized that she was insane.
Yeah. Well, I kind of knew that. I kind of knew that from the beginning, but it just seemed like she was going to be like around for a while, like a necessary thing to deal with. That's why I was like, well, fuck it, I'll talk to her, But I don't know, whatever.
So let me ask you though. Okay, so Nonsense has never been told that I've talked. Nobody has any evidence I've talked to Nat because there isn't any evidence. It doesn't exist. Right. So she knows that you and a few other people at least had some conversations with Nat, even in an email. So she uses that they to dishonestly lump me into that group of people that have spoken to Nat, and I find that again to be evil. It's just straight up evil. She knows.
It's disingenuous.
It's disingenuous. Right. Yeah. They, and when I say they. When she says she's referring to the good people, what she thinks they're trying to convince people they're bad. When I say they, I mean the evil people, because we're the good people. They need to ask that question to themselves: are we the baddies? Yes, you are.
And it seems like everyone, that we all associate with or whatever, she lumps into two categories, because we're all anti-Caters or whatever. But she lumps us all into two categories. We're either the extreme ones or we're the not extreme ones.
How about the third category where I don't know who the fuck these people are?
I want to be in that category. Can I please be there?
Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind going back to in that category either. Sure. But here's the thing. She uses anti-Katie as a label. I'm anti-Katie because I can't stand her. I think she literally is the most horrible woman I've ever met in my entire life. As a matter of fact, she is the most horrible woman I've ever met. There is nobody worse than Katie. Than me. I don't know any woman I've ever met in my entire life that's worse than Katie Joy.
Yeah, she's up there for sure.
So, well, you must have met some shitty people in your life. Luckily, I guess maybe I was inoculated, or I've had some shitty people, but nobody compares to Katie. So, but I don't like the anti-Katie label because I'm not in any anti-Katie.
Right? Yeah, it bothers me too. Yeah, because it's like I'm not anti anyone. I'm anti bullshit. Basically, that's what I'm doing. I'm not trying to take down Katie. I'm just calling her out on her bullshit. That's all. So that's what I'm against. I mean, I don't know. If she just suddenly stopped being an asshole, then I wouldn't give a shit.
See, that's where I disagree with you 1,000%.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, you definitely you have more things.
But that's what I'm saying. We can disagree, and I'm not holding it against you, right? My fight isn't necessarily yours. If you stop talking about Katie Joy and you stop going after her, it wouldn't change a thing between us. It wouldn't at all.
Talk about other shit, yeah.
Right. I just listen with some other whatever your videos are about and your translator and stuff like. It wouldn't affect anything, and people don't understand.
I honestly can't remember her moniker outside of whenever I'm talking to you, Steve.
Well, I really can't. I'm only when I'm listening to a video or something.
I'm not trying to be insulting. It's like not everyone's meant to be an entertainer. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, I agree.
Wait, who are you talking about? Me or Katie?
Katie, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, well, because your channel is definitely.
I think I remember you. You seem like a lot less of a dickhead.
Well, most days. I mean.
It depends on the drink.
It depends.
Well, that's all right. I'm a dickhead 90% of the time.
Didn't you guys talk before because she was going to get your information?
I think we're on your panel once before. Yeah.
She's the one that does stand up improv, right?
Oh yeah. Oh,
now you remember. She's so forgettable. That's okay. Whatever.
Hey, that was like a month ago.
What's my name? Who am I? Even I can't remember.
I do stand up and improv too.
Yeah, I remember you saying. Yeah. See,
we are comedian buddies.
I don't do stand up. I haven't gotten to that point yet. I mean, I've heard like the past few months or whatever, I've been making notes, in on my iPad here and there, but I don't have much material there yet, and I keep second guessing it or whatever. But I don't know. But yeah, I definitely do improv. I love improv.
I love it. I just love fucking with the crowd. I never do it right. I just go out there and whoever I can see in the lights, I'm gonna fuck with you.
They're having a whole different conversation live chat. Any non-Christian is a Satanist. Okay, whatever. Ava Satanas. I got nothing against Satan, Earth. So yes, I've. What's the problem? Satan, long live Satan. What's the big deal? I don't understand the conversation. So what? It's like if you want to call me a Satanist, call me a Satan. I'm not. I don't belong to the Church of Satan, so I'm not a Satanist. Yeah, it doesn't bother me. I'd rather be called a Satanist than an atheist. I find the term atheist to be more offensive to me. Isn't that weird?
Why? What's wrong with atheists?
Because I'm not an atheist. I support atheist groups, right? I mean, I do actually. I give money to Atheists for Liberty. I support the Satanic Temple, but I'm not a member of the Satanic Temple. But
yeah,
the term atheism is not my position. So I'm offended that somebody would call me something that I'm not.
Out of like an instinct of self-preservation, I just don't say it. Like, I am atheist, but like people start fucking throwing things at you.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I grew up in.
I tell people that I attended Satanism. Nobody seems to care.
I grew up outside of Boston, and the city where they erected the first Catholic church. Like, it's like Christianity is like hardcore in that part of Massachusetts. So yeah, like if you call yourself an atheist,
I would lose my mind. I don't care about that. Yeah, I wouldn't care. If I was an atheist, I'd be like, "Yo, I'm atheist." I'd be proud. I guess people have said, "Go ahead."
What if you say you're agnostic? Is that
they don't know what it means half the time?
I just don't even address it. I just say like, no, I'm not religious, and I just walk away.
Yeah, okay, I see. But it's so funny because I've had idiots go. Again, this is like lying about me when they say, "Well, Steve doesn't want to term atheist because he's afraid how people respond to him." Like, so I'd rather have somebody think I'm Satanist than atheist as what I give a shit about people think. How does that work? If I didn't care about people think I was a Satanist, why would I care if they think I was atheist? It's just like I don't care about the term. The term isn't something that bothers me. It's just that's not my position.
One thing that I'm kind of tempted to do. I told you one of my longest friends, 20 years. My buddy Greg, my Jewish friend, he's a pole dancer, and like often he'll like don like Satan horns and like makeup and shit, and like just going like full like satanic with his get up, and I would just love to share that with like some Christian people to watch them like, oh.
Yeah, they get feared of the weirdest things, It's like
it's like no, he's just having fun getting exercise.
You said he's a pole dancer?
Pole, yeah.
Yeah. He's a very fit guy. He always has been.
Huh. Men could do that too. You sexist.
I know.
Yeah, you're so sexist. Oh my god.
Men can do most anything women can do. I get it.
Most.
I don't know. I just like, and I've been to like male like strip reviews or whatever, shows and stuff. None of them ever danced on a pole before.
And what women can do, I wouldn't want to anyway. So I'm really fine with that.
I'm not going to be stuffing fibers in his Speedo or anything like that. But I support him. And, it's like that's cool. You got your own hobbies and shit.
got to make ends meet somehow, right?
Oh, he's doing fine. He's a video game designer.
So
what?
Video games.
What? A video game designer, and he's like some. I'm assuming he's like.
He speaks 4 languages. This guy does all the things.
Wow, he broke the mold then.
Yeah. Hey, Aaron, you need a hookup?
No, I'm good.
Oh, that's another thing. Oh my God, who was it? Was it Nonsense or somebody else? Somebody was saying something really stupid, KDP or some fucking idiot. But they're like, do you hear the way that Steve talked to Aaron on panel? I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? I swear to God, I'm like, what I say to you that was so more like egregious? No. I'm like, what the fuck?
They don't realize that the big words you use are English, so they just think that you're talking to me some other language or something. They don't understand it. They're like, did you see how Steve was talking to Aaron? Like, Aaron speaks English. Why wasn't Steve trying to speak English to her? You know, that's
I don't know.
You might as well be speaking like the Swedish chef.
Exactly.
Jürgen.
Well, no, I thought it was more along the lines of like, you know, flirtatious or something. I'm like, I'm a lot of things with Aaron, but flirtatious is not one of them. But I adore her. I love her to death. She's out of my league anyways, but I mean, she's Aaron's the kind of person. Yeah, you know, Aaron and I would be like, hey, let's go have a beer and we'd chill. We'd like literally just have a beer. She's like that kind of friend. I don't know why anybody would even insinuate that I would ever even, you know, I don't know. It's just weird. It was just really weird where they were like making it out like, oh my God, the way Steve talks to Aaron. I'm like, okay, what do you mean by this?
People get really paranoid and make that connection a lot of the time. Like, I have a lot of female friends. I don't hit on anybody online. Like I've had bad experiences. Like that's not my thing. Some people don't get it. It's like, yeah, I'm not trying to stick my dick in everything that moves.
I have like 3, and I mean, but Aaron knows there's like one person that I've only one person I've even been talking to for the last year, and Aaron knows this person, and so she knows that everything everybody's saying about like, you know, nonsense. Oh, Steve's sliding into DMs of young girls, and she knows it's complete bullshit, you know, and so it's like, why isn't there required to produce any evidence for all these weird things that they say about me? I don't even care anymore because I can't even take it personally because I'm just used to them lying. But it affects other people. Like, I mean, when you bring in my friends like Aaron, you bring in my friends like Veda, then yeah, I get really bothered by that because now you're not.
I wonder where the fictional narrative is going to go from here because they have to expand upon the lore.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
To keep the story going, you know, so we can get like a season 3.
But they start LARPing about other people. I mean, like Aaron. Like I said, you know, they have to bring in their and like the whole fucking thing with like Unirock. Oh, Steve was watching porn with Aaron and Rennell. Oh, it's like, really?
Yeah,
really. I mean, that's the best. That's the best LARP you can come up with.
When I was listening to that crime fashion whatever it was podcast, and I was fucking that Boston dude, like, he wasn't there to, I mean, it sounded like at the beginning you came on because Ellie Mosley and the channel owner, they wanted to talk about Unirock. They wanted to learn more about Unirock. Well, then Boston comes on, and all he wants to do is run this stupid fucking narrative. And then he wants to talk about nonsense. He wants to talk about Molly. He wants to talk about Veda, you know, and it's like, dude, that's not even what the shit was about. Why are you coming on here trying to push fucking nonsense?
It was weird. I felt.
And then the whole like, oh, was it true that you were watching porn or whatever? And you know,
I was like, really? I was like, dude, really? No offense. I'm just gonna say it, Boston. If you really thought that I was doing that, you something's wrong with you, dude. That's serious. I mean, it's such a fucked up thing.
He knew better. But I mean, it was.
Then why was he? Why would it be even something? You have to be an idiot to even ask that kind of question. It's just so fucking ridiculous, especially showing what actually happened and how stupid it fucking really was.
Yep.
And yet he seemed to be going on there to try to impugn me for some reason. And I held my own. I mean, I was cordial and everything, but you know, I wasn't appreciating the way Boston was trying to interrogate me. And I told him where to go, and he never did. This is what I was saying. I don't trust people like that because he knows now he could have came to you or to Veda to get the information he was requesting. As far as I know, he still hasn't done that.
Yeah, no, I didn't even know about this live stream until like the other day. So I mean, no one's come to me, that's for sure. I mean, I didn't even know about it.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of weird. Yeah, I when I was listening to Veda's video, there was a long stream, 3 hours and 40 minutes like that. So I was listening at 2 times.
What?
Yeah, Veda has long streams. She really does. And so I do listen at very much accelerated rates, or else I'll never get through it. So I may have missed a few parts.
I'd fall asleep.
Well, I was laying down. I mean, that's how I kind of was. I was just listening laying down, but I made it to the very end before I fell asleep. But yeah, that's one thing that Boss came in and asked about. But then after I jumped out, nonsense kind of popped right in and started spewing BS against me. And you know, Lisa was just like, "Oh well, you know, I don't know Steve, blah blah blah." But the thing is that I was very cordial to her, and she was cordial to me. But she was more willing to listen to nonsense, talk shit about me, than actually go, well, okay, where's the evidence for this? Because she, you know, no offense, and Aaron, I don't think will take this person all. If Aaron said, "Hey, look, such as person is sexually harassing me," I'm going to believe her by face value only because I know her, right? So I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt because she's somebody I trust, and I wouldn't need to require any evidence for it. But if I said to her, "Can I see the evidence so I can at least say that I've seen the evidence?" she wouldn't be like bothered by that. It'd be her. She wouldn't have any obligation to, right? But at least I would feel like, okay, I'm at least asking, so at least I can tell people that I've seen it. But if she didn't give it to me, I wouldn't not believe her. But I would at least ask her. I don't think any of them have ever asked nonsense for anything.
Yeah,
that's the difference.
Well, I mean, right at the beginning of that stream, that Lisa chick said, she came right out and said that, you know, just I'm a fan or whatever of nonsense, you know, like she was just like letting everyone know. But then as you guys were talking about things that occurred, like with the whole Marvin thing and nonsense and everyone, you know, and then she's like, "Oh, I have no idea what you're talking about or whatever." And I'm sitting there thinking, how the hell are you a fan of nonsense if you don't know anything?
Right.
The one thing that she talked about and constantly, daily for 10 months or more.
Right.
Like, what are you a fan of then exactly?
Yeah, what has he been watching? How are you a fan of nonsense if all her content is related to one fucking subject?
Yeah.
Her entire channel was dedicated to the tragedy that befell a vet and his family. That's her entire shtick, was dedicated to that one event.
I'm gonna I probably shouldn't get in that. No, I'm not gonna say it now. No, I'm not, because I know I'm gonna catch a backlash if I give my opinion on something here.
Right. That's pretty sad. Like I said before, like I would love to do like a show about like Rocco's Modern Life, like old Nickelodeon shows. I could do that for like an hour. And that's original content about the things that some people from Gen X can relate to. And like I don't need to trash people to like, you know, that's not going to raise the seas that brings my ship higher. You know, I don't get that mentality.
I should only associate with Gen X. I was asking people at work some questions, and I was mortified. They're Gen Z, I guess. They didn't know anything, and I was just like, "Are you kidding me?" I was like, they didn't know who Barry Manilow was. I mean, like literally, what? Barry Manilow. Yeah, they didn't know who Barry Manilow was. It wasn't just one or two Pearsons. One of them didn't know, has never seen a single Star Wars movie or Star Trek. I'm like, yeah, exactly. That's my
blasphemy.
I realized how disassociative I am. How? Oh my God! No, see, this is stuff that I thought was just commonplace, but I guess in Gen Z, it's.
I mean,
not,
like
so
I know,
like
dude, that person just made LeVar Burton cry.
Right.
Like, I seen the original Star Wars, like not probably long after it came out, but like that's it. That's the only one I ever watched. It's the only time I ever watched it.
Star Trek was way better than Star Wars.
I know I watched Star Trek, but probably just as like background noise or something.
Oh, see, I've seen every one of the Voyager,
like Orville.
I love Orville.
Orville.
Orville's amazing.
I fucking love that show.
Well, see, that's why we get along. Orville.
Yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, I love Orville. But that's talent, though. I mean, Seth. What's his name? Seth MacFarlane. I mean, that dude is probably one of the greatest voiceover actors, comedians, producers, directors of all time. I mean, that dude.
You can tell he has such a deep love for Star Trek too.
Yeah, and he's also has a deep love for music too, and that's why he keeps putting on these big orchestral,
oh yeah, he loves his Broadway shows.
Yeah, he loves Broadway shows, and I appreciate that. I would love to go see a show on Broadway. That would be fun. But anyways,
I'll watch anything but Cats. I don't want to see Cats.
No, I remember I saw things like Man from La Mancha in a play. I saw Fiddler on the Roof, that kind of stuff, you know. But anyways, so what else you got, Aaron? I mean, I guess I just wanted to do like a quick video on some of the minor stuff I saw on Veda Jade's video. It wasn't, like I said, I don't think she got anything wrong. I don't, and I appreciate everything she's done because she's really, put it out there that these women are lying, and it's not just because she wants to like set the record straight with me, but she wants to make sure that this doesn't happen to other people, and I applaud her for that. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Yeah, I was talking, and for some reason, I get you. They won't let me finish a thought, and it sounded like I said something along the lines of I've only been talking to Veda for a couple of weeks. And what I was going with it was I always was talking to Veda a couple of weeks about the Marvon story is what I was talking about. I've known Veda for like a year. She came on the scene last year, and I was referring to the Marvon story, but I don't think it came out in the when I was on panel correctly because they just kept interrupting me. So I meant to say that I've only been talking to her about the Vermont thing for like a couple weeks or months. It hasn't been very long because when do I talk to you about the Marvon case? Rarely, if ever.
I don't think we've ever really talked about it. We talked about like maybe some shit that Katie did or said about it or nonsense as of late, But I mean, that's it. I mean, you never question. I mean, and to be honest, I never really talked about the whole Marvon situation either. My whole reason for even mentioning it is because of how just the lies and shit being told by nonsense, for example, or Katie. Like that's my only interest in it, really. I mean,
have you actually been to Vermont?
Have I been to Vermont?
No, Steve.
Oh,
maybe, yeah. Well,
years ago. Okay.
Why? What's
that's when the crime was committed.
What are you talking about?
What?
I don't know. I don't know the lore behind it.
I have no idea what you're talking about, man.
Who lives in Vermont? What's in Vermont?
I don't know.
I thought I heard the state Vermont.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, I talk fast, so I don't know. You probably did hear me say something, but
she's from back east. They talk weird.
Yeah.
Charlotte says hi.
Who? What?
Hi, Charlotte.
Charlotte.
We're in chat?
Yeah. Hey, Aaron, it's Charlotte.
Oh, wait, private chat? I don't see
No, in the live chat on the video.
Well, hi, Charlotte. I don't see you though.
Do you have it? I literally am showing it on the screen now.
Yeah, oh, wait a minute. Let me look at this. Oh, Charlotte. Oh, I think it says Charlotte.
No, Charlotte. We do know Charlotte. Yeah.
I thought it said Sharia at first.
They're having a good old time in the live chat. I'm an atheist and not a Satanist. Now what? And I'm neither. But like I said, I mean, I'm a non-believer who appreciates Satanism. So I don't know what this guy's issue is, and I don't really care because he's not really being rational. But
I've never met a Satanist that was like mean to me. They're always really nice.
Yeah, well, I mean, Satanists, from the Temple of Satan, they believe that people should have bodily autonomy. They believe that people should be treated, with respect. The 7 things for the tenets make sense,
Yeah, I like how Christians shot themselves in the foot with trying to get rid of the First Amendment. Where they're like, oh well, we can just have Bibles all over the fucking place now, and Satanists were like, oh okay, well we can put out our books too.
Yeah, and they did.
There's nothing they can do now.
And that's why I appreciate the Satanic Temple. I appreciate they keep the government in checks and balances. Yeah, because you I mean, even a religious person would not want a random religion being institutional in the society as the state sanctioned religion. Let's say there was a theocracy of some kind. Let's say there was a government that decided to be ran by religious values. The chances of it being their particular brand is slim to none. So if there's just some kind of throw of the dice and all of a sudden, the government decided to be Hindu, yeah, Christians would be very upset, right?
Or
Buddhist, or not their flavor of evangelism, or
Zoroastrianist.
Yeah.
So, where'd it go? Shoot. There was just something I saw I wanted to ask about. There it is. So Stephen Craig, let's talk about soft agnosticism, whatever that is. Is that like softcore porn? Like, I mean, what is soft agnosticism?
Okay, so the term agnosticism has 2 domains that they usually used in: the epistemological domain and what I call the ontological domain. And what I mean by that is that if you're talking about God existing, then agnosticism is the psychological position of neither believing God exists nor believing God does not exist. That's agnosticism. Anybody who says otherwise, they're an idiot, they're wrong, tell them to piss off. They've never read any of the literature. Every university teaches this. So that's agnosticism as if you're asking about does God exist. Now, there's another proposition about the knowability of God. Can we even know if gods exist or not? Which is a completely different question because it's not ontological. It's not dealing with an existential question. It's talking about an epistemological question. So the soft agnostic says that we have no idea that we can know whether God exists or not. The hard agnostic says we cannot know there is a God. And so I tend to soft agnosticism or zero data, which basically means that I have no way of knowing if we can even know if there's a God or not. I think that's maybe an unanswerable question for eternity, but I don't really care one way or another. Maybe we get to the point where everybody stops believing and we just assume there's no God anymore. That might be the case. But it's asking a question about can we know if there's a God or not? And I'm not really interested in that question. I'm only interested, do you believe or not? If you believe there's a God,
I'm kind of in the South Park field of it where isms are the problem. When people ask me, like, are you this kind of ism or that kind of ism? I'm like, okay, do you want to be swallowing your fucking teeth? How about you mind your own fucking business?
Ism just means a proposition that can be tested by argumentation. So when you say ism, that just means that you're an ist, that you hold a particular proposition to be true.
It just comes with so much baggage and annoyance.
But it just means it could be tested. You know, if I hold a particular position, we can argue about it and discuss it and be tested by argumentation if that position is rational or not, or if I'm justified to hold it. You know?
Dude, I spent 30 minutes explaining to a trainee at my deli. He was like, so it's like, where did humanity come from? I was like, well, we actually have a pretty good idea of where humanity came from. Total waste of my fucking time.
Yeah,
I went through the whole genealogical like studies, and I'm like, yeah, we have a pretty good fucking idea of where we came from.
Well, it's so funny because people ask those profound questions. Yeah, like somebody asked, like when I go to the barber, you know, the guy's like, where does knowledge come from? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, these are profound questions that would take me, you know.
Comes from your fucking frontal lobe.
Yeah, I'm not going to be able to answer in like sound bite kind of stuff. But yeah, it's just, I think that people that don't have an interest in these topics, they think they're just cut and dry and they're simplistic, and they're not.
People see what they want to believe often. It's not about what's true.
Well, man, like this guy Earth in the live chat, you know, who the hell knows what he's saying, but certain things he's saying is just not correct. If you're a non-believer, it doesn't mean you're automatically a Satanist. If you're a non-Christian, it doesn't mean you're a Satanist. They're not jointly they're not mutually exclusive and jointly exhaustive. They're not a dichotomy. But he seems to be weirdly making one. That's not an honest person. When I hear people making fundamental logical mistakes and they're not correcting them, I cannot take them as an honest interlocutor. I just don't. It goes back to the whole evil good thing. Those are intellectually evil people. If you're not willing to correct your logic, you are intellectually evil. When you're not willing to correct your statements about somebody, you're moral evil. And nonsense is a moral evil. Katie Joy is a moral evil. Enoch are moral evil. And I'm going to call them evil. And, you know, I know somebody's going to run with that going, oh, look, you know, Steve's invoking biblical terminology. No, the term evil has nothing to do with the Bible.
It's like a generalization that encompasses like an extremely negative behavior.
Yeah, behaviors can certainly be incorporated. Yeah, absolutely, because it is the behavior that makes them evil. It makes them immoral, and immoral it can be.
Yeah, they don't want to get better. They want everyone else to hurt with them.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, Aaron, how difficult do you think it would have been for Nonsense, the Good Nunya, or Heels in the Air to ever go, hey, Aaron, let's talk about some of the issues we have. How difficult would that have been? You have a very open panel.
It wouldn't have been at all. It shouldn't have been difficult. In fact, it should not be difficult for them to even take me up on my offer when I've said that, you know?
Isn't it very telling that they don't, though?
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
It's very, very telling. I will go on Crimes and Fashion and I'll talk to, Lisa, and I have no fear. And then obviously Nonsense dishonestly then jumping in saying that I was following her. I didn't know she was over there.
Yeah, there's some bullshit right there, because you were up on panel there talking, and Nonsense is there in the chat just running her fucking mouth. And then the next day,
after the fact, I didn't know she was in there.
After the fact, exactly. Yeah. And then she goes up on panel, and then she starts running her mouth about you, making all these crazy claims, and she's done nothing but just talk about you in all of these live streams over and over and over again. And then she says, I don't know why he just won't leave me alone. He's right. Obsessed at this point.
Yeah, and I listened to that video, and all I heard my name was, somebody. I think Veda put, a confirmation together. Steve.
It just sounds like really? It just sounds like you're defending yourself.
It's all it is.
That, Steve.
You did that. It was yours. It was brilliant.
Yeah, there's my video.
You got talent. But yeah, and I even messaged you. I think didn't I say like, look, this is
you did. You're like, oh my god, it's freaking me out. Listen to this.
Yeah, it really, because I had no idea. But when you hear it from somebody that you've never talked to, that wouldn't respond to you when asked, hey, message me, and they didn't respond back. I'm like, okay, you left it alone. Well, I left alone. I didn't try to communicate with her afterwards. And then I hear, oh, Steve's trying to get a hold of me. Steve's talking to me. If Steve's messaging me, that bullshit. That's an outright lie. 100% outright lie. I'll bet anybody $1,000 right here and now. $1,000 cash. And EKC knows I have some money. $1,000 cash. If somebody
what would you even have to talk to this person about? It doesn't sound like they have a whole lot to say.
Nothing. I have no idea. I have no interest in talking to her. She's not an honest interlocutor. I only want to talk to honest people. She's not honest. However, I had opened up my panel before to say, look, if she wants to fucking know the truth, she can come in and ask, but she never did. At this point, I have no interest in talking to somebody like her because she's not, I know she's a dishonest agent. The only reason I would ever do so is if she really, really wanted to, where I can show people in real time she's lying to people, I'd be okay with this. But that's it. But I'm not fucking chasing her down or anything, messaging her to talk to her. I have no, why? What would be the point?
There's people who make a good living on YouTube and other media platforms by lying and stirring up drama and stuff like that. This doesn't sound like that person. It sounds like they're just shooting themselves in the foot.
But why me? Again, this is where it all seems to
come back to nobody. How many viewers do you have right now? Like, barely anybody watches you.
This is not a big channel. I don't do a lot on this channel that much. I'm trying to, but it's been hard, and I will try to pick it up a little bit. I promise. I will. But for the most part, I just relate.
I'm not trying to be insulting. If my channel is like a fucking swirling cesspool, there's nothing left there. But still though, it's like, why you?
Yeah, why me, Aaron? Why me? You go after nonsense all the fucking time. I stream once or twice a week at most, and I do philosophy shit. So why does she give a fuck about me? What the hell do I got to do with anything?
Because of Katie, dude. I told you this before she even started like coming for you or talking about you. Right after Molly's channel was taken down, she then all of a sudden she tried to go after Justin, but people didn't seem to be really watching her when she did that. So then she started going after Al. But when she started going after Al, she was like kind of bringing your name up and shit. And it's like, I'm watching her do this. I'm like, L is like the segue into Steve.
The L from the Queen Bee community?
No, LB.
Oh, LB. Okay. Yeah, that I thought was kind of odd too. People who know LB and I get along just fine. Every kind of issue we had long since under the bridge.
Like,
yeah.
The history there and everything. Like she was able to use LB to talk about LB and then to bring up things concerning LB that concerned you as well. And it was like a segue. Like
yeah, I noticed
that. A segue into you. And that's the thing. And as soon as she started talking about you, then it's Steve's showing up and young people or young girls, women's DMs or some shit like that. And he's just like, he's like,
yeah. Can we see evidence of that?
That sounds like Steve, all right.
Yeah, that's me, totally. I'm just, and by the way, young girl.
It's Katie's fucking.
Hi, by the way, Brandon. I like the Starry Night.
Hey, what about like that too?
Yeah,
Steve, you're just sexy dude, though.
I know, thank you. Young girls of me is 40, so that's okay. But like I said, where's the evidence for this? Where's the evidence for this? There's been literally been zero. So doesn't anybody stop to say, hey, nonsense, why are you slandering this dude? I know Aaron stops them and asks them. I know Veda does, but where's everybody else on that side going, hey, you're making these accusations about this guy. Can we see some evidence for it?
Wait, see, the thing is, though, I mean, you look at her live stream chats, and it's always the same fucking people in there. And they're also the same people who have been in Unirex server for quite a while now,
That's a good point. She did steal a lot from him.
Yeah, this is just like some like fucking network of people or whatever who just like come together just for the purpose of just I don't know, trying to get rid of people, take people down, however you want to word it, for whatever reason they do it.
They're hit squad. They're YouTube hit squad.
Exactly.
But it's not this them I'm talking about. I mean, I didn't know Crimes in Fashion. I didn't know her from a hill of beans. She wasn't part of the Uni Fam Discord attack team.
Well, no, but I mean, I don't know.
I try to give her the benefit of the doubt.
Listening to her and everything, just dealing with you, talking with you and everything, I don't know. I got the impression that she wasn't there to be objective or.
I agree. No, I absolutely agree.
Yeah, she was there. She was there as part of the team. There with Boston and shit.
Yeah, and same with the Down the Rabbit Hole. Although I do like the other one. I like the Down the Rabbit Hole at bedtime.
Yeah, that's a good rabbit.
I like her. But the Down the Rabbit Hole news. I don't know. I did a video, about her that's like that last one I did. Only he was like, "What the hell are you talking about?" And I still never got an answer from anybody. Nobody seems to know, which is actually a good thing, I guess. If nobody can tell me the answers to my questions, it means that they don't know. Meaning that none of these people have any evidence for what they're saying. They don't care. They're just flat out lying. Brandon, you been following any of that?
No, what do you mean, Bear? I don't know. I don't know if I should or not because my head would explode. I would probably want to get onto the panels, and I don't know. I can't put up with as much as you guys can.
Well, we've been dealing with a lot longer. I mean, we're all pros when it comes to shitty people. And I'm just going to call them shitty, evil people. I mean, I don't know. And it's so funny because nonsense is projecting this. Oh, you don't want to talk to any of those people like Steve or Aaron. They'll I don't know, introduce you to mentally unwell people or whatever she said or something like that. I'm like, really? No. She literally does not want people to talking to us because we can explain to them why nonsense is lying. That's the 100% reason why she doesn't want anybody talking to us. Is that nonsense is lying through her teeth. She's using drama and trauma to profit from, whether it be monetarily or just by attention.
Yeah. But she goes around and calls everyone else tragedy pimps. Yeah.
Yeah. She's the biggest one.
Channel on this shit.
She had one tragedy, so she made an entire channel over. I mean, the hypocrisy is just staggering. But okay. Anyways, Earth. I guess they're done with playing with you. I let people play in the live chat as much as they can, but I mean, we have to have honest people. I don't think you're being honest to my audience out there, the Earth. I try to be fair, because I don't care what people talk about. But what's wrong with being satanic? You haven't just. Yeah,
do we grow horns or something? What's so wrong?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, you're welcome to come in here. The link's above there, Earth.
I think the idea is that Satanism is about like killing babies and stuff like that, and that's not what Satanism is.
I don't think anybody. Well, anybody who thinks that I don't want to talk to. They're just mentally unwell, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, Earth, you want to come
in? That's extremely rare.
Well,
most Satanists are just atheists.
Yeah,
and Satanists want the babies to live too because they have to tempt them into doing bad shit.
Yeah, if you eat all the offspring, if you eat all the offspring, who's going to take over the cult?
Exactly.
Yeah, we're so April's like we're so far past Satanism. Really? I don't know. I've been trying to follow that, but I don't know. He's just saying you're back to satanic false claims. What claims and what's wrong with being Satanist?
I'll make sure to send you one of my friend Greg's satanic pole dancing rituals.
No, send it to Aaron and Brandon. They'll appreciate it more.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
Oh boy,
yeah, I'll check it out. Why not?
But dude, he's fucking ripped. He's like a double black belt. Like he's crazy strong.
Yeah, this guy's getting more and more like characteristic all the time, like a movie character. Oh, he's a pole dancer, speaks 4 languages.
Is this Channing Tatum? Just tell me now.
Does he play Batman?
He is not Channing Tatum.
Is that okay?
he's a little more twinky than that, but he's pretty ripped.
Is he gay?
He's bisexual.
Okay.
I was gonna say most male dancers are gay.
Yeah, well, Bias is gay with both sides, I guess. Yeah, I don't know what they're talking about in the live chat, but what else you got for us? Do you guys have any questions for like Aaron and I while we're here? Because again, this is what this stream is about. It literally was to draw the line and say, look, there's evil people and there's good people. We're the good people. They're the evil, shitty people. Deal with it. If you need evidence of that, ask us. But if you're not interested, you're probably going to fall into the evil category, or I understand people are neutral. It's not a black and white fallacy. But I'm sorry, but if you're supporting nonsense or Katie or Uni, and you know what's going on, how in the world can you consider yourself to be a moral person? Please explain that to me. I would love to have that answer. Because it's so funny, Aaron. They're like, well, how can you support Aaron and Steve? What have we done? And Manel asked the same question the other day. It's like, what has she done? And Nell's like, please tell me, because somebody, I guess, had said, oh, I know about what Nell's done in her history. She's like, what? Yeah, we're in the same boat. What? You didn't want? I watched that when you remember the stream you went on not too long ago with Manel on her channel. You went up and on her panel, just you and her.
Yeah, I remember.
Before you went on, somebody had said something to her along the lines of she knew about Manel's history. It's like, oh, Manel's one to talk of the things she's done, and she's like, what are you talking about? What have I done? Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. They never give me any examples of what the fuck I've done or you've done. I really want examples because they can't give me any.
You know what you did in Kosovo.
Yeah, and preferably make it in the last, like, I don't know, 2 years, maybe. It's something that I did when I was like maybe 18. I don't remember. I mean, I don't know.
What were you doing at 18 there, Steve?
Oh, I was in the Navy, man. I can't talk about that. I'm not saying I was the most morally upright person when I was in the 18. I mean, I was honorable, but yeah, I was the drunk.
Yeah, Steve was Muammar Gaddafi's right-hand man.
Yeah. He knew it.
Yeah. I had good times. But
yeah, it was good.
But if people have to go back, oh, it's 8 years ago this happened, or come on, what do you got recent? What the hell have Aaron and I done? Give me in the last couple of years, anything. I mean, if they want to go back old school, that's fine too. But there's already videos on any of that stuff.
There's plenty of shit that I've done in this past year alone. You can fucking pull from. No, I'm kidding.
Pick a video, go watch AK video, and just like find something. Oh my god, I can't believe Aaron did this shit. What the hell is she thinking?
It didn't drag, damn it.
So I guess he left. Earth left.
Oh,
Earth to Earth.
I think the last time I got punched in the face by Greg, he's got a hard punch. Was his dad's bald. So he's got like male pattern balding in his family. And I hadn't seen him for a couple of years. And I was like, whoa, where's your hairline going, Greg? It's running away. He punched me directly in the face.
Probably earned it.
Yeah, I know. I'm an asshole.
Did you talk
was his hairline receding? I mean...
Oh yeah. It's desperately clinging to that skull.
That's a sign of testosterone.
Hey, he's a tough guy. I wouldn't fuck with Greg. It'll twist you into a pretzel.
There was something else I wanted to bring up. There was a video Aaron did called what was it? Oh my God, when will this nonsense stop or something? And there's something she said in there too that I wanted to address, but I don't remember what it was. Do you remember that video?
I do. I don't. Yeah, I got to start titling my videos better because I can't find shit with the titles I pick. It's getting annoying. When did I do it? Do you remember?
4 days ago or so.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, no, that one I can find.
Yeah.
It was probably one of the uploads I did and was in a live stream. Okay.
Yeah, it had to do with Molly Go Lightly receipts and Molly Go Lightly, because there's another thing they keep dragging me into.
I got it.
Aaron could tell people I've never talked to Molly Go Lightly, so how the hell can I have anything to do with her? I'd be on her payroll. And I know what it was. Yeah, the letter from JLR. How Becky was so upset that you got a hold of it, and he was trying to say that it's somehow through your connections with Molly Go Lightly. And yeah, I know you're amicable with her, and I know that you're friendly, but I mean, you're not like best of buddies with her, and I don't think I would think that even if you never met the woman, you still would have gotten that letter. I don't see any correlation about you knowing Molly Go Lightly helped you get that letter.
Yeah,
if it was minuscule at most.
And like Magnolia even came to my community post and commented, and she's like, look, we never even heard of EKC before she reached out to us. And it's because she reached out to us and she was professional about it. And I think because of another thing, like the way I worded something in the email was, I'd be most appreciative if I could prove Unirock either, truthful, or prove this true or false. Like I didn't say I want to be able to prove this is true, or I want to be able to prove this is false. I'm like, I just want to be able to prove it one way or the other. Like,
right.
And that's the thing. And I think that maybe that had something to do with it too. And the fact that like she said, JLR doesn't want to talk about this on his channel. He doesn't want to drag his channel into this drama onto his channel. So, that seems to be the only place people were really addressing them about this was in the comment sections of the channel. So they didn't really want to answer it there. But since I reached out as a media inquiry in private on a different platform, that's why they whatever responded the way they did.
And I think that probably would have anybody if it was worded the way you did. I don't understand why they care if he was influenced by their hard on for Molly is just bizarre. I thought they had a really thing against me, but Molly's definitely. I think I was the worst in their side, but I think Molly's a close second. And even when Molly left YouTube by them, I think there was a mass flagging campaign. I'm sorry, I do disagree with Queen Bee on this. They all did get together. They all did notify. To try to have YouTube take a look at it. That's mass flagging. It doesn't have to necessarily go to the video and report it. It is an attempt to get people to look at the person's video. And
across platforms to rile up your followers to go and do your bidding for you. That's what you're doing. That's mass fucking reporting.
And make it very clear. Sometimes that is not a bad thing. If somebody actually has a video that is harmful, that is causing harm, I'm all for mass flagging and calling out and getting people to have eyes on it. Say this, for example, if somebody was harming an animal, mass flag the shit out of that video kind of thing, because it's violating TOS and it's harmful. But this was not somebody doing something so morally egregious. This was them to have eyes on Molly because they hated Molly. That's it. It had to do with the fact they didn't like Molly Golightly, period. They didn't like what she was doing. That was it. And I think that was, to me, detestable. If you don't like what she was doing, don't watch her stuff. But to try to get her thrown off a platform, that's pretty crappy.
Yeah. And what I find unbelievable is because one of their go-to defenses for what behind what they did is the whole how Molly when after House of Williams or whatever, did that stream or whatever talking shit about House of Williams. But the thing is though, is that Mallory, House of Williams, they didn't give a shit about her before that. In fact, they were probably talking just as much shit about Mallory as fucking anyone, But the second Molly starts doing it, oh no, wait, we can't have that. What she's saying, it's trans bashing and everything else,
Yeah, that's what they try to do. They run a narrative to make anybody out to be the evil person. And then S-Mac is correct. Katie posted she pretended like she had no idea what happened. That was a complete lie.
That was so fucked up. She did it on Mother's Day.
On Mother's Day, and then lie about it. Like, oh, I didn't know. Oh, come on. Yeah, I mean, she knows nobody believed her on that one.
Yeah,
nobody.
So fucked up.
Let's see here. I'm trying to go through the comments. But yeah. Anyways, that's just kind of my brief thing tonight. Aaron, I didn't want to go into too much. I just wanted to correct or address some of the things that was in Veda's video. I think she did a really good job, and I appreciate it.
Airing out those briefs.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: we correct things, and we want the record to be correct. And if there's any errors in it, we want them to be factual. And like I said, I did say some things in that panel that I think needed clarification, so I'm going to clarify. Because again, they did.
I don't want any shit stains in my underwear. I got a problem. I'm going to deal with it.
Yeah, they didn't give me much time to really suss things out, and it's very difficult to be in a hostile environment that you weren't expecting, and when you're trying to clarify something, you just shut down. So I want to do this video to clarify some of the things I meant, especially when it came to the things I disagree with Veda on, or just minor stuff, and who gives a shit. And I certainly wasn't throwing Aaron under the bus by saying that there was some exploitation. I didn't mean exploiting in a derogatory means.
Veda messaged me and she sent me the clip, and I'm like, yeah, I'm like, first of all, I don't think he really meant it like that. But secondly, it's okay if he did, I don't know. Maybe he's right. Maybe I did exploit it to some degree. I know I didn't intend to, but I don't know. I don't know how other people perceived what I did.
But even still, that's not necessarily derogatory. It's not pejorative. It's just that I'm
going to do shit that's going to be fucked up sometimes. I may not intend to, but it's going to come off that way. And I have to acknowledge that,
You had a lot of videos on the story. But somebody had to. I mean, obviously, when you have all these people putting out this bullshit narrative, there has to be pushback of the truth. And I think the truth finally came out. And I think that all of them owe Letitia apology that she never to get.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's why I told Boston. I said, my only interest in this entire thing was that a vet's mother wasn't able to see her kid, and for him to go, well, she wasn't her biological mother. Like, I give a flying fuck about that. That really solidified. I was like,
he said, well, she didn't really raise him.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, that's just fucked up, Boston. I was like, that's the fact that he actually said that.
Yeah, she's still his mother. That's exactly, you answered that perfectly.
Thank you.
It sounds like you've been pretty reserved. Like I'm vulgar. Every other word out of my mouth is fuck. But like, you've been pretty like concise and like,
I'm pretty mellow. Because I'm not going to let them push my buttons. I know that they're going for it, and I know that they're going for a response. And as Aaron noted, I answered it the best possible way that I could. And I think I did a good job with that.
Well, yeah, they want you screaming into your microphone.
Yeah,
right. That's what they're hoping for.
Yeah, because then you look unhinged, and then they can be like, "Oh my god, look how crazy he is or she is," or whatever.
Yeah, and even though I'll get on my rants, I don't get into like a lunatic mode or anything like that. But every time I even do have a rant, there's a reason for it, and at least people know that I'm very sincere in my position.
Yeah, you get into the same like nerd vibe that I find myself in, where like I tend to over-explain myself a lot. I try and make it measured and not emotional.
But you kind of have
but
to.
Like,
you kind of have to.
Yeah, it's a delicate balance. To make it not look annoying.
When you
I find myself doing that too.
When you have a content creator out there, like the likes of Nonsense, who comes on the scene talking about subject matter she had no experience with, she had no history with, she didn't know anything about, she still knows nothing about, then yes, the old timers, that people have been around, the original OGs, and Erin's been around quite some time. She's an OG now. I'm an OGer, but she's definitely an OG. She's been through the history. She knows exactly what happened, and everything that Nonsense puts out is pretty much wrong. It's not even a matter of just her not getting minor facts correct. It is her putting out completely incorrect, non-factual information. And the people that have been around have even said, this isn't right. This isn't what happened. And she's trying to do historical revisionism. And the people that only watch her are going to believe that, because they're going to be like, oh, this is what happened. And history will be changed because there's nobody, or not enough people, there's Aaron and Veda and myself saying, hey, look, this is not correct. And obviously, you know what's funny?
We will run these documents through the Ministry of Truth.
Even Bobby the cat was telling Nonsense she had her facts wrong.
Yeah.
And she did. And this is what I'm saying. Why is it people are listening to somebody who didn't even know anything about fucking what's going on? She was saying that I was involved in the Taddy Westbrook case. How the fuck was I involved in the Taddy Westbrook case? Somebody explain this to me. Where was I involved? Because that's what she was saying when she went on panel, Drives in Fashion. She's like, oh, that whole crew, they started off years ago. Oh, my beef with these people, Nonsense, go way before Toddy Westbrook. We're talking 6, 7, 8 years ago. You don't have no idea what the fuck you're talking about, or who the players are, or any of the names, or what they did, or who they did it to. She knows nothing.
Yeah, and
Steve definitely had his knee on George Floyd's throat.
They blame me for everything else, but I'm thinking, I had absolutely nothing to do with the Teddy Westbrook case, and that's how you think that she thinks my name was involved with that? How?
Yeah, and she was saying how like I've been around for like years and years or whatever, and I'm like, okay, she was. That's right. She was saying that I was a part of all this bullshit that went down between like you, Unirock, and LB and Katie Joy and shit. And I'm listening, and I'm like, what the fuck is she talking
I don't
about?
think you around.
I didn't come around until like a year after. No, not a year after that, but like months after that.
Yeah, it was after that. No, I know that. You weren't involved in any of that. That's what I'm saying. She can't even get a chronology right. It doesn't, because it doesn't matter to her. She thinks you and I have been like behind the scenes doing shit for like a decade. No. And the fact that she didn't even understand why I stopped talking to Unirock in the first place, or how that even came about. She none of that history. And yet
you guys are so insidious, you Satanists.
And it's funny because Aaron, even his most loyal followers, he's done the same thing to them that he did to me. And they don't think to themselves, oh shit, he lied to his audience about us. He's lying to and saying things that are not true about us. Maybe he did that with Steve because they don't care. Again, there are people that just do not care about the facts.
I think that the ones who aren't saying that are not saying that because they were right there along with Unirock saying
That's
down
true.
that shit about Steve, and then they'd have to admit that they were wrong for that. And
you're exactly right. That is 100% true, and you're 100% correct on that because they signed off on all the shitty things Unirock did to other people, but when Unirock did it to them, then they started developing this moral high ground that they never had in the first place. No, it's not. They have no moral high ground. They're not being ethical for calling Unirock out. They're just covering their own ass because now they're the ones being targeted. That's all.
Do they have a job? I don't think YouTube's paying the bills for them. By the sounds of it,
I have no idea. I don't care what people do for the jobs. I don't care if they have a job or not. I care about simple as this.
They're probably living off their parents' son.
Is the person putting out correct information? That's all I give a flying fuck about.
It's funny though. It's funny though how you said that. Like how
I'm just curious.
The people signing off on shit or whatever. And I there was one moment where I was reading Twitter and there were several people like. I don't know, like not congratulating, but like, sending out props or whatever to AZ for calling out Unirock on his bullshit and everything.
Oh my God.
I'm sitting there and I'm like,
fucking ridiculous.
Motherfucker. I'm like, she's not saying anything different. Nothing. She hasn't said a fucking thing that I haven't said, that we haven't said
right
for all this time.
Yep.
And now she's fucking awesome for it, but we were hated and dragged through the mud for it, and we're still despised for it. But she's not.
Yeah,
it sounds like it's been a record skipping for like over a year now.
How much shit did I get for distancing myself from Uni when I realized he was a shitty person? I couldn't be around it, and he for 3 years he led this campaign against me to get my channel shut down, to get me investigated for all kinds of shit. This was him. I mean, this was in real life shit he was doing, and they all signed off on that. They even called the people with him. They had people that they had called to try to investigate me for shit that never happened. They facilitated his psychopathy, and yet when they're the victims and Unirock does it to them, all of a sudden they have this moral high ground and they're so brave for calling him out. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck every one of them. They, like I said, AZ, Julie Virgo. Evil fucking people. They're not doing anything of any moral consequence. None of them have ever had a moral background. How many of them ever have done anything on moral grounds? Show me one fucking person from that side of the fence that has done anything on moral grounds.
Like I see like I'm a big fan of birds. I have a ton of bird feeders. I got a hummingbird feeder. I see people who like post videos about like ducks and stuff like that on Facebook. They're doing more for humanity than any of these fucking assholes.
It's so cool though. The thing about the birds and shit. Like I just bought a bunch of bird feeders, a bird bath, and a what was it, IP camera or whatever? Because I
love my birds.
I want to add a camera to my channel that's a 24/7 live feed of the birds eating and shit and the bird feeders. And
I like watching it. I actually like watching like hamsters eat and guinea pigs. I find it to be relaxing, and rabbits.
But this one, I want to do the birds, and I have like the other animals, like have something on the ground too.
Yeah, I find that to be just relaxing.
Yeah, I love those channels that do that. I fucking love. Oh, so cool.
But yeah, I haven't followed any of I don't watch AZ and I don't watch Julie Virgo because again they're shitty freaking people. But I do get some of the clips, and I do see that they're calling Unirock out for the same shit you and I did. It's like it's like, yeah, well, I'm sorry, that doesn't make them morally virtuous people. That just makes shitty people going after shitty people.
Wait, what I also don't get, like AZ had said something too, in a post saying something. Okay, don't get your something twisted or whatever. Just because I realize Unirock's a liar doesn't mean like I son him. Like I feel differently about Steve or some shit like that or whatever. And I'm just like, you stubborn ass fucking bitch.
Yeah, but again,
you were fucking wrong. Just admit it.
Name one thing that Unirock accused me of that was true. Nothing.
Yep.
Nothing. Not one fucking thing. And yet they all signed off on that. Oh, Steve shot at Kyle's house. Steve did this. Steve did that. Steve did this. So Steve doesn't have a case. Steve was, Kyle wasn't served properly. Everything he got wrong. Everything. Oh, Steve's harassing. And I will. Oh man, should I tell you this? Oh fuck. Don't you have you did this to me earlier? That's the thing you're gonna say, and you weren't gonna, and you shouldn't. You think, should I say it or not? How about I do it a little bit cryptically, so when it comes up later, I can bring it up. Okay, so just recently I had somebody reach out to me that had some involvement with personal relationships to Kyle. It's a lot worse than we thought. Kyle is an active abuser. He is a domestic abuser.
We all saw the video. I mean,
yeah. And that's just that's just tip of the iceberg. And so there's much more that maybe I'll when I'm at more liberty to say. But yeah, I've been contacted by somebody, and Kyle has harmed people. I mean, he emotionally, physically. It's disgusting. It is. I'm blown away that I was actually doing a show with somebody who was capable of such gross violence to people. It's absurd. And yes, I have.
I had very few interactions with him, but it felt very strange.
I never caught that with him. And in fact, I have photos I never released, and so I have all the.
He didn't send me photos of his dick or anything like that. It just felt weird.
Yeah, no, I'm talking
about he thought I was some kind of like fanboy or something like that, just trying to fuck him or something.
No, I mean
that's how it came off to me.
No,
maybe I misjudged it, but it was really weird, and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna talk to this person anymore.
No, I mean I have things I didn't release of him destroying an apartment, smashing everything up, beating the crap out of somebody.
He's a big dude. He can fuck up an apartment.
Yeah, he's big. He's I think he's on roids. I mean, if he's not on roids, I don't see how he got that big naturally. But
Kyle?
I think he's pretty tall already. He's got like a wide shoulder span. He can beef up. Like he can fuck up an apartment.
He's 3 times bigger than he was when I.
Really? Oh, okay. It's been a while since I.
Oh, he's massive.
Was he in prison or something? Is that why?
He did go. He did go to jail for a while. Yeah,
me and him have that in common.
Yeah, he got to jail. He went to jail for simple assault for beating up his boyfriend, domestic abuse, and then he stayed in there because he had criminal contempt charges.
Why did you go to jail? If you don't mind me asking, you can just tell me to shut the fuck off.
Yeah, well, I guess how many times I supposedly was supposed to be investigated and go to jail? That never happened.
No, not you.
Oh,
no, Rat Feast.
Oh, Rot.
Well, he said something like he and I have that in common. So, but you don't have to tell me. All right, no, I'm sorry. Forget I asked.
Oh no, it was a faked assault charge that they wouldn't bring to trial for a couple of months. So I just sat around and I drew tattoos for people, so no one would beat me up.
I've never been arrested. I've never been investigated for fuck all. Everybody who's ever said anything,
they dropped everything. Yeah, they were like, well, this is nonsense. Like,
don't you remember when Katie's always like, oh, that whole group on Facebook, they're all going to go to jail. They're all going to be, investigated. Zero. Nothing happened. There was nothing to happen. She was so full of shit, and she was scaring people that there was going to be these weird investigations that nobody gave a fuck about. Yeah. Nobody did anything that she had said. Nobody. Zebulon wants to know what happened to Lemon Bird. Wasn't Lemon Bird the guy from Discord that was a flat earther? Wasn't Lemon Bird? Yeah, I think so.
There's all kinds of different curvatures of the Earth that I find interesting. You have the inverted Earth, where it's like we're inside of some kind of dome. I don't even understand how that works.
Oh, I don't know.
It's supposed to be a sun floating around in the middle or something.
Anybody who thinks that a dome is just nuts. I think it's crazy.
Well, they have to be.
Yeah.
Well, do they know how satellites work?
I don't think I don't put people that are religious in the delusional column. I don't. I think anything you can be religious and absolutely perfectly sane and justified. However, if you think there's a dome, you're delusional. It's because you're actually.
It would collapse. There's no structure that we know of that could sustain that kind of gravitational forces. It would just smush into a ball.
It's delusional.
It'd be a really, really strong plastic.
It's contrary to everything we do know.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we'll 3D print it.
When you believe something that you can visually see in real time is bullshit, because we do send space stuff up there. You can actually see stuff up there. That I do find to be absolutely nuts.
Dude, look at the moon. Like that thing, like without gravitational forces, that thing would just be a giant pile of dust. But it all just like coalesced and like squished together.
I bet they actually physically think they see a dome too. I mean, like I said, this is why it's delusion. Their understanding of her reality is so wrong that their brain is giving them misinformation, and not just a false belief, but an active psychotropic delusion. If they're like think they see a dome, anything like that.
I remember being told that the moon was a satellite, and I asked my teacher what radio stations does it bring?
Well, I mean,
it is a satellite, but it's a natural satellite. Yeah.
In Armored Core 2, one of my favorite mech games, Phobos, one of Mars's moons, is actually a gigantic alien weapon. Phobos, and it has no choice but to be perfectly round because it's so massive that that's just the way gravity works.
It's the way gravity works.
But yeah, they like that's cool though.
Well, things are
that's not like this Hollow Earth bullshit.
Why don't we have the same gravity? Why don't they afford us the same gravity? Why is it only reserved for this alien moon?
Yeah, we have gravity.
Phobos is I think it's smaller than our moon.
Oh yeah, it's only a couple miles. It's very small.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and it's like some kind of gigantic alien weapon from aliens that are like long extinct in the Armored Core universe. I really like that series. You can buy it for $2 for PlayStation 2.
I like those cheap games that you can get sometimes. You don't spend a lot for a good game sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah, PS3 and PS2 games, you can get it for like $1 or $2.
But does anybody want to pop in real quick? Because if not, I'm kind of gonna go back to playing my Witcher and get some sleep tonight.
The Witcher.
Witcher 2, yeah. It's a slow going game. It's not one of my favorite. I liked Witcher 1, but Witcher 2 is just it's clunky. I don't know. Witcher 3 is the best. Witcher 3.
Have you seen the animated series yet? I wasn't a big fan of the live action series with Henry Cavill.
I haven't seen either yet, but I will. I'll watch them probably after I finish Witcher 3 completely.
Yeah, the wolf something.
White Wolf.
I'm not sure. It's a Netflix special. That one was really well done. The Witcher with Henry Cavill, even he was kind of disappointed with it.
Yeah,
it wasn't that great.
I know the live action they switched girls, but yeah, one of these days we might just do a whole stream on Witcher because I love that series. I really do, and I love the lore. I think it's just Witcher 3 is probably one of the greatest games ever made. But again, I didn't finish the very end, so I need to start from all over again and play it through again, which I don't mind because again, it is such an amazingly well written visual game. It's one of the best. I mean,
I still haven't played a single one, even though I know pretty much everything about it from reviewers.
You didn't play it though?
No.
You should. Like I said, I just want to get through Witcher 2 so I can play the entire series. Witcher 2 is very clunky, and I've cheated my ass off on it because I want to get through it pretty quick. But it's still going to take several months to get through. They're just long games, and I don't play it that often. I get home, I'm tired. I usually go right to bed.
The worlds are pretty big, from what I understand.
Yeah, they're long games, and like I said, I get tired. I'm getting old, man. I don't have the wherewithal to fucking do this drama shit. It's cathartic every so often to run a stream once a week or something like I've been doing, where I catch up and Aaron will drop in after work. But other than that, I don't really have anything to do with nonsense or any of that. I just listen to Aaron or Veda talk, and then if I have something to add, that's fine. But I just want people to leave my name out of shit. Like if she mentions my name, tell her to shut the fuck up. She knows nothing about me. She does everything wrong. I don't want to have anything to do with the fucking bitch because she's just an idiot. And so why, if she continues to talk about me, then yeah, occasionally I'm going to have a video like this to put the record straight. But
honestly,
I don't care.
I've seen this trajectory before. It sounds like she's going to run out of steam or get into some kind of domestic dispute that puts an end to this.
What is she going to do next, Aaron?
That has nothing to do with you, because she'll do it to herself.
What's next ever playbook?
I don't know. I really don't, because like
she can't talk about me for much longer.
What, assaulting her roommate? That's usually where this ends up.
Nobody's really tuning in for anything she's been doing lately. So in fact, she hasn't been streaming quite as often as she normally does. So I don't know.
Watch an animal struggle and its death throes, and see what they do.
She lost her biggest thing was Molly. She lost that.
She's just going to have to wait for the next tragedy for herself to pimp out, I guess. I don't know.
And maybe her audience will watch them what they don't. But I mean, her audience is mostly like Unifam idiots who just kind of go where the wind blows, you know?
Yep.
So, but anybody else want to join in real quick before I end this? Because I've said my piece. It wasn't that much. Kawasa, he's going to listen to After Fact. I want to thank him for the super chat. I appreciate that. Every little bit helps, you know. But I'm just getting bored. I honestly, I'm so over YouTube. I like to do the non sequitur show every once in a while, and I like to find a topic we talk about, like philosophy. But other than that, I've lost interest in dealing with the day-to-day bullshit. That's why I don't stream that often any of this stuff. So when people say, "Well, Steve's involved in this," please explain to me how. I'm very busy in real life. I work full time. Like I said, there's only one person I've even talked to as far as anything, you know, of any consequences as far as who I maybe have a minor interest in, but that's neither here nor there. So whenever somebody brings up my name, just tell them Steve's not even around, you know, because I'm not. I'm just not. I mean, Heat Chill says I'd like to join in. Office appreciated, but I'm too drunk. Everybody's drunk tonight. Yeah, maybe next time. I again, I had a few beers, but I just don't like getting drunk. It's just something I don't like that feeling any longer. It's been a long time since I actually was drunk.
You know? I kind of like it, so I don't know.
I like, you know, I don't mind a social buzz.
Yeah,
but not drunk. You know. All right. Thanks, Aaron. I appreciate it. Thanks, Rot. I'm gonna take my sleepy time stuff, play a little my game, and go to sleep so I can have a long day of work tomorrow where I can close and then open the next day. That's my favorite thing.
Thanks for having me on, and nice talking to you again, Rot Feast.
All right. Yeah. Have a good night, guys.
Yeah, but hope you stream tomorrow, because I'm gonna come straight home tomorrow and I got to open the next day, and I just want to put something on to fall asleep to. So can you bore me to death tomorrow?
Well, I'm thinking about streaming in a little bit. I don't know, or doing something. I don't know.
Oh, even if it's nice good too.
I got to work tomorrow, and it's just I got so much shit going on. I'm like, I don't know when else I'm gonna have time, and I want to get shit out there. So.
I love putting you on the background. You know, you got a soothing stream. You know, and I don't have to pay much attention to the videos, the visuals, because I already know what's kind of going on. I like things I just put in my Bluetooth and just listen. You know, so. All right, I'm gonna bugger out, guys. Thanks, Aaron. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you later. Good night. Good night, all. Like, subscribe, all that stuff.